So first off, thank you guys so much for all the amazing support you guys have been putting out lately. It is absolutely mind-blowing and unbelievably satisfying, the fact that you guys put out so much support, it's not even funny. And recently, the #1 requested comment that I've been getting so many times lately is how to use the bow with the 5-pin sight. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about how to use the bow and the 5-pin sight. Now, this is going to kind of relate to both bows. I don't know, for some reason I can only think of two at the moment, the Bear Claw and the Hawk Edge. Now the Bear Claw is going to be the lighter bow. That's going to be your 60-pound draw weight. Not that it's super light, but it's definitely not going to be your heavyweight bow where you're going to want to go for the biggest game. That's going to be the Hawk Edge bow. The Hawk Edge bow is going to be 80-pound plus. And in real life I actually have a Hoyt Katera that's set at 75 pounds, and I used to use that for if I went out elk hunting, or well, I used it for whitetail. I never had it set that high for whitetail. I always turned it down to like 72 for whitetail. Anyways, there's going to be a few different things that you need to understand about the 5-pin bow sight, and it also has to do with the arrows. Now, a lot of you wonder, like, how can you make such a good shot like that? Well, let's just say I'm using the Hawk Edge bow, which is what I use most of the time. If I'm using the 420 grain arrows, those arrows are going to be lighter than the 600 grain arrows. So if I'm taking a shot further than like say 40 or 50, I'm going to want to aim pretty much like dead on. Instead of holding high with the 420s, I'm going to hold it pretty much dead on, because the arrows are so light that they're going to go pretty much directly right to the target. Now, if I'm using the 600 grains, I'm going to want to hold it a little bit high, give or take about an inch or two of space for the arrow to drop at that distance, because most of the time it's going to drop just a little bit. Same thing in real life. If you have a heavier arrow, it's going to drop, especially the further out you are. You're going to want to hold high. Now, the most important thing about this 5-pin sight is when you draw back, you're going to see a middle pin, and that pin is going to be gold. That gold pin is basically going to be your money. So if you look at the bottom right of the screen, it will say, right now it says 43.74 yards. I only use yards, so this is how I'm going to explain it to you. I don't know anything really about meters. It's a little more tricky, but anyways, you'll get the point of it. So right now we're zeroed in for 43.74 yards. That means that gold pin is dead on at 43.74 yards. We're swaying quite a bit right now. But anyways, so when we draw back, anything that's going to be 40 yards, we'll be able to put it right directly on. Which, that's pretty close to 40 yards right there. We're looking at about 38.5 yards out. Okay, listen, hear that? That is the wind. That's going to be either your best friend or your worst enemy. And that's the #1 most important thing when it comes to bow hunting. And if you watch some of my really far shots, I always make sure the wind is either blowing directly in my face or completely away from me, going right towards the animal. Either way, that makes the arrow go either up or down, and I can easily compensate for that wind. So if the wind is blowing in your face, you're going to want to hold maybe an extra inch or two higher than you normally would have. And if the wind is actually blowing towards the animal, you pretty much want to hold it just right on. So let's draw back. And actually, to be realistic here, considering it is 38 and we're using the light arrows, we're going to want to hold just a little bit low. First off, because it's not quite 40, and second off, because these arrows, they fly pretty straight. So let's draw back. We'll hold the 40 right for the bottom of the red, and you can see we're pretty much dead on level right and left wise, or left and right wise, but the wind has a really important factor on whether or not you're going to make a good far shot. If you have a strong wind, you really have to compensate for the wind. Any further than like 30 yards out, you better be holding for that wind. So now that we know where the wind's blowing and we know that we have a little bit of strong wind, we're going to do the exact same shot but hold a little more to the right side this time. There we go. Pretty much exactly where you want to hit. Okay, so that's 40. Now, say we want to shoot closer. You could easily change the zeroing on your bow, but for me, that's why I titled this video, How I Use the 5-Pin Bow Sight. Not how to use it, but this is how I use it. No matter what, I always stay zeroed in for 43.74 yards. So, if there's an animal closer, now the second pin down from the top, or the next pin up from the gold, would be 20. So basically it goes like this. The top pin is 10, the second pin is 20, and the middle pin is 40. Then the next pin is 60, and the next pin is 80. So it goes 10, 20, 40, 60, 80. I understand the top pin is all messed up, but I really don't know what to tell you about that. That's just the way it is. So here we're looking at about 25 out. And there is a perfect bullseye. Alright, so since this water buffalo here is 38 yards out, and this black buck here is 55, which that's pretty much the exact same distance that our diamond wild boar was at the other day. But if you notice, a lot of times when I take far shots, the wind has to be blowing either directly at the animal or directly in your face. If it's blowing left or right like it is right now, there is no way I would attempt this shot. The wind is, it's a crosswind. The wind is blowing back in our face and it's blowing to the left. So in order to take this shot, we'd basically have to hold high in the shoulder and on the right side, almost towards the neck. And at that distance, the wind can push it a lot or a little, you really just don't know. So I would definitely recommend waiting for the wind to either calm down or switch, or at least try and move in and get closer. But for this case, we're going to try for about a 55-yard shot. So this case, we're going to use the gold pin for 40, and the next pin is 60. So we're going to want to hold it in between the gold pin and the next pin. Right there. That is not a bad shot. Try that one more time. We're a little bit high. Still not a bad shot. A little bit low that time. There it is. Alright, so that wind is pushing a bit more than I thought. Holy, that wind is pushing quite a bit. Try it one more right about there. There it is. Money. Alright, so we got a bullseye. You can see how far to the right we're actually holding. We're basically aiming on the neck on this black buck, and we're holding between the gold and the second from the bottom pin. So remember, that gold pin is 40. No matter what, that gold pin is 40. And the bottom pin is 80. No matter what, the bottom pin is 80. So basically, all you need to know is the second pin from the top is 20, and the middle pin is 40, and the bottom pin is 80. And once you understand that, you'll be able to figure out how to take all kinds of shots. Alright, so since the bottom pin is 80, this water buffalo here is 77 out, we're going to want to use our bottom pin, and we're going to want to hold low because the bottom pin is actually 80. This thing's not quite 80. Also, we still have a ton of crosswind going on here, so we're going to want to hold it for basically the hind quarter on this thing in order to hit somewhere towards the bullseye. Not bad. Got an 8 there. A little bit. Man, we are literally aiming on this water buffalo's hind quarter. Oh, very nice shot. That's a 9. I don't know if we're going to get a bullseye with this wind. I really don't. We might just hold off on it. There we go. I mean, honestly, I don't know if we can get a bullseye with this wind, like I just said, but that's a pretty good shot. You can see where we're aiming there. We're still using the bottom pin, but we're holding low. We're actually holding between the second from the bottom pin and the bottom pin, which the second from the bottom pin is 60, the bottom is 80, so basically we're going for 70. Again, a shot like this at 100 yards out with this crosswind, it is definitely not recommended, and I would never try it without a perfect wind. But for this case, we're going to try it. Oh, not bad. Got an 8. We're literally aiming right on the bottom side of his antler there. And another 7. Honestly, if we get an 8 again or a 9, that's going to be it. A 7. Just missed it. Alright, now we have this black buck out here. He's basically at 20 yards out. So we're going to use the second pin from the top, which will be 20. And that should hold right on pretty much. We have a little bit of wind, but this distance, it shouldn't matter much. You can see it still mattered a little bit, but definitely would have been a vital hit. We'll have to compensate for that a little bit more. And there we got a 9. See, we still have a little bit of wind. There we go. That wind is still pushing pretty good at 20 yards out. So that's how much this wind really does affect when you're bow hunting. So, I think that's going to be a good way on this video. I really hope it helps you guys out. And I know how frustrating it was when I first got this 5-pin sight. I had no clue how to use it. But now you guys should know exactly how to use it. Anyways, now I want to put this to the test and go out in the field and actually show you how to take a really far shot. In fact, you might have already seen this, but this is the farthest perfect shot I've ever made with a bow and arrow. So we just got eyes on a real good buck, but the only problem is I can't get into a stand here. We're going to have to take about a 90 to 100 yard shot on him with the bow. Try and get a little bit closer if we can. About 95. Roughly 100. Okay. We do have a perfect wind for this. Not a bad angle. Oh my god. No way. That was a 100-yard perfect shot on a big buck with the bow. Alright, here's our big buck that we took about a 100-yard shot on, and we definitely have to take a picture of this guy because that probably will never happen again. And of course the light just went out. Come on, where's the sun? Give me a little bit of light would be nice. And there we go. Okay, I will definitely take that. And let's find out how far our shot was. 97 yards! And we got a left lung liver stomach shot. What a wicked shot. He ended up scoring 869. A big buck at almost 100 yards with the bow. .869 scoring, 100-yard shot, almost 100-yard shot on this big whitetail buck here with the bow. What a cool looking buck. Yeah, I'm really happy with him. And I really love these tree stands. They're going to be one heck of a fun way to hunt in this game. And I tell you what, you're going to be able to sit there, relax, sit in this tree stand. You never know what's going to come in. And that's the cool part about hunting. It's the same exact thing. Anyways, with that, I think that's going to be a good way to end this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you next time. Look it. We got him back where he belongs. Right there, right out in the front. Big and proud. How do we have him though? Forgot what position we actually had him in.